And welcome. It is Sunday, December 20th, 5 days before Christmas 2015. And as Grizz likes to say, us elitists will sometimes occasionally say, in the Gregorian calendar. You are listening to GrizzNation here on WHO and the GrizzNation Radio Network. My name is Thomas LeDuc, and very happy to be co-hosting right here with the host of this grand show, the Grizz, Mr. Morry Taylor. How are you, sir?
Pretty good, Thomas. Pretty good.
Oh, Thomas?
Well, I thought your Gregorian calendar, I'd just do it formal, okay? Anyhow, we welcome all of you to the show. And if you want to call us,
that's right.
Call us at 855-984-7499 or tweet us, Morry Taylor.
Let's real quick before we bust into the notes and everything this week. You were over in Europe. How's Europe doing?
Europe is, you know, if you turn around, it's just like if you watch the talk shows here in America.
Yeah.
The politicians over there are actually more in the clouds than I would have to say some of ours. At least
more so than Bernie Sanders?
Well, Bernie Sanders he's from Vermont. You know, any place else, Bernie would have been shoveling out the stuff out of the barns, or he would have been a great lecturer at a university, poisoning and kids pay money to listen to that BS. Okay,
that's true.
But they've been listening to that BS for a long time in Europe, and they don't really like to tell you, but when you see what's going on, that's happened over there for all the years,
yeah,
trust me, there's going to be a lot of bloodshed over there. And all the elitists can say what they wish, but the Muslim population, very few assimilate, okay? They want their religion there, and they want the laws like they had, that the country they left from, that they moved there, they want to turn it into the country they left for. Because, I don't know, I think sometimes they're just wacko. And why are they there? Because some big businesses in Europe wanted cheap labor. That's really what it is. And the politicians, they're a lot like Americans. They don't understand. You better keep some manufacturing jobs over here. You can't just allow your country opened up to China and India. It's just stupid, folks. Trump's right. It's stupid.
No, but that's what you saw over there.
And that's why they're having a problem. Yeah, you're going to see it.
Okay.
Because what the government will pay, you know, they're just, well, the unemployment's so bad, let's just pay them to sit in the cafeterias and that. And, you know, it's going to explode. And when it does, the only thing is it would probably have already exploded if they all had guns.
Well, let me ask you this.
That's why Hillary wants them gone from me, too, by the way. She told you, if you listened to the debates last night, you would have heard what the Democrats want to do. They truly want...
Did you watch it?
I watched part of it.
Oh.
Fell asleep. It's so stupid, okay? I mean, you're listening to what they want to do. They talk all about the middle class and everything. That is pure BS.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Where the hell have they been? You know?
Well,
Her husband was president in 1992, folks. Do you know 50% of the population has died since then? I mean, come on.
Oh, look at that.
And you turn around but before I get going, because I'm just going to...
You're going to go on a roll.
I want to just say one thing to everybody out in Iowa.
Yeah.
The rest of you in the country, you probably, none of you will actually know about this, but Governor Terry Branstad just set the record for the longest serving governor ever in the history of America, if you go all the way back to 1620. All right? Actually, there was a governor and I don't know if it was Pennsylvania or New York or where out east, one of the original colonies.
Original 13.
Original 13.
Baby.
Who was a governor prior to us becoming the United States. So he got credit for all that time. And Terry, this year, beat him. So if you ever get to Iowa, make sure you have a chance to tell him, nice job.
Let me ask you a question before we get rolling, because you were just over in Europe. And we had on a couple of weeks ago Fox News contributor Monica Crowley. She's a foreign policy guru, worked for Nixon. And she said it's not an immigration problem, it's a flat-out invasion. Would you agree with that?
Oh, there's no question. There's no question when you go to Britain. Last week, or actually this week, earlier this week, I flew to Paris, drove 4 hours to a little town called Fleur on the Normandy coast, and it's beautiful. But those French there, they fought the Nazis. They love Americans. They love the Brits because they know the sacrifice to save them. Now, when you turn around and I got through there, then we drove to Cannes, flew from Cannes to, what's the name of the town? Lorraine something. Anyhow, I ended up late that night.
It's French.
In Bologna, Italy. Got up the next morning, went through our factory over there, then flew back to London, drove up to Birmingham, which is the center of the radicalization in the various mosques up there of people.
Is it really?
Yes.
Okay.
And then again, they're up there because car companies and all the manufacturing, that's where they end up going.
Okay.
And then from there, back to London that night, and I had a meeting for 5 hours with some Russians that are partners with us over in Russia. And then got up early in the morning and had a nice breakfast and a meeting for 3 hours with some Turkish gentlemen. And then
you were all over the
9-hour flight back on Thursday morning.
Jeez.
And here we are today.
Did you see this?
Yeah, watch that debate.
Okay,
Yeah.
did you see the empty podium in the middle?
Yeah, because she was she had so much girdles on, she didn't. She had to get those girdles off.
If you
probably had to go out and get a little drink. She's been known to be hitting the bottle pretty good. Everything you see with Hillary Clinton, folks, you might as well go to a movie.
Yeah.
You might as well just go watch House of Cards on Netflix.
Right.
And it's the whole situation.
If
they lie. I mean, it's here. Hillary gets on there.
Oh boy.
And you talk. Most of you know in America, the babe lies. She's been lying her whole life. She was fired off of when Nixon was up for impeachment.
Right.
She was on the House committee, and she lied to her boss, and she distorted all the information. She's such a zealous that when the boss found out, he fired her. She was fired. And, say what you wish. But she's been cleaning up for her husband for a long time.
Oh, boy.
And they're both real bad. But did you see her go after Trump? That just tells you a video that he is, what he's saying bad about the Muslims. They're using his words in a video. Well, fact-checked her on NBC. Meet the Press today. They brought up the point. And if you listen real good, there has been no video. It's all false, folks. It's just
what is it with Hillary and videos?
Video.
Yeah, what is it, Hillary and videos?
She used the video, remember, in Benghazi?
Yeah.
It was all caused by this guy making a bad comment, It's all BS, folks. She believes she can just stand up and lie to the American public. Quite obvious. She can really lie to the elites, the Democratic elites. And when they get up there and they're talking about how bad everything is for the middle class, and how they've been taxed. Even the dumb Bernie Sanders said the same thing. Anybody think about it? Anybody stop and realize how long they have been in power, the Democrats? Why don't we look at Detroit?
If you just real quick, if you want to talk about Hillary and her girdle, you can call us at 855-984-7499 or tweet us at Morry Taylor on Twitter. It's one of the things that Morry likes to. He likes to read the tweets.
Yeah, she probably had to get Uma, your girlfriend, Uma, to get her over there to help her get out.
Grizz, it's Uma Wiener.
Uma Wiener.
Okay, so Daniel on Twitter says at Morry Taylor, only foolish or spiritually blind national governments are welcoming Muslims in with open arms.
Yeah, well, the other thing that's so stupid is we won't let the Christian Arabs in, who are the ones being, genocide on them by ISA. But no, we can't do that. We can't do that. No. Diversification. We need some real terrorists, and maybe we let this group in, and they're doing it in Europe. And I'll tell you what, it's not going to take the Germans as long. No way, boy. They're going to go after it. And
Angela Merkel's been kind of really.
Oh, she was growing up in East Germany. She was a communist when she was a little girl. Come on. They all sit there and talk a bunch of BS. I'm getting tired of all this stuff. Wow. When you look at it, it's like, well, we got one of our talking points here. When we get into the situation of how they're lying about the border.
Yeah.
It's so bad. Now, what we got to do, though, is let's talk about the Bob. We're talking about the babe. Her emails are not over. Her nightmare. She don't have nightmares. She just plots how to lie. And she thinks she can get away with all the lying. But it does come out, internal memos review now. She had top secret emails on her private server. And folks, she didn't have one. She had two servers, okay? And then she's got this lady who's a lawyer that's been with her for 20-some years, Sherry Mills, and she went through it, and she's the one that deleted them all. I mean, it's number. In the liberal media, they do cartwheels because, they thought everything was out. She sat at that Benghazi hearing for 11 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, she lied. Why don't they just say, we should vote for her because she could lie for 11 hours. She sat there. Well, she probably didn't have her girdle on then. But anyhow, it just, because the media says, oh, folks don't care like Bernie. Bernie don't care. He's a socialist.
Now, Grizz, there are truckers in Iowa that are driving on, the I-80. They don't want to think about Hillary and her girl. They'll take the 18-wheeler off the road. Don't do that to them.
Oh, they need a good laugh.
Come on, Grizz, don't do that.
They're not. They're just sighting up that that line. They know where that girl is. But the American people do. The majority of American people believe she's a liar, pure and simple.
Right.
And but she's lied about Benghazi.
Yeah.
Right up. She lied. I don't even know why they had her in all these lies.
Yeah.
Why haven't they filed contempt charges? It really because she runs so
class.
many. Her foundation is a slush fund, and all the things she's done illegal about taking money. They have taken hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars from foreign governments. Folks, that's illegal too. They just want money. Oh, and they were whining. Folks, Hillary and Bill, in just fees, speech fees.
Yeah.
Go talk for an hour and you get $500,000. Clinton will get about $750,000, And so, they are so bad, okay? And the Democrats, you telling me the three stooges you had on that stand and are all out there clapping? I mean, if you want to really, my fellow Americans, and I got a lot of Democrat friends, and I tell them the same thing. If you really that is the best you can find that you want to put up to run this country after the one we got in there now? Think about it, folks. And by the way,
He's got a
all
point.
of you guys in the cities, I happen to have been born in Detroit. I picked up the Detroit Free Press, and this lady columnist, she wrote about, she's all upset because the GOP legislatures,
Yeah.
they went home for Christmas
Oh.
and
Yeah.
and they haven't took care of the Detroit public schools. So what about all these kids? Well, I want to say to that lady,
Oh boy.
Democrats been running this city for 60 years. They're still running it.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
Now, you, the Detroiters, have voted in the school board. You have voted all the politicians. The federal government had to put Kiwani in jail, okay? Everything's a shakedown. You want to know why? And you know something? Anybody that's got color and they make a few bucks, they get the hell out of the city. There's a reason. Only you just can't see it, you know? And so you ask, what the hell's the rest of the state supposed to do? More money goes into Detroit for the schools? Oh, you can find a couple in the suburb. I can show you a bunch of country schools. But you want everybody else just to throw more money in they can have more trips. They don't even straighten up the mess they got, you know? And then you turn around and you'll be one of the biggest supporters of Hillary. Why? Think she's going to do something? Why do you think the inner cities and all inner cities across this country? Look at them. It's a joke. I feel sorry for them, but if they're that damn dumb to keep voting the jackasses in, why should we come and help them?
Grizz, let's take a break. We're a couple minutes over. Well, I mean, I know you're on a roll, but we're a couple minutes over the break there. Yeah.
Yeah, she thinks she can lie herself into the White House.
Well, you could. Well,
I don't think so. And I think Trump's going to. And
we could follow that up.
Too. That Trump will beat her fanny. So they're making all this other
Lonnie
bullshit.
Davis today said no, but we'll follow up with that in a moment.
Lonnie Davis?
Yeah, he's. Oh boy, I shouldn't have said that before the break. Yeah. We're going to take a really.
He's had diarrhea his whole freaking life. Okay.
We're going to take.
Think about that.
We're talking about girdles and diarrhea here of the here on Grizz Nation. We're going to take a really quick break. Once again, you can reach out to us at 855-984-7499 or tweet us at Morry Taylor. You are listening to Grizz Nation with Morry Taylor on the Grizz Nation Radio Network.
This is for all you farmers out there in Grizz Nation who thought you could get better performance by dumping your tractor tires in favor of tracks. It might have seemed like a good idea at the time, but that was before you knew about a new technology in farm tires called LSW, developed by Goodyear Farm Tires, made by Titan. LSW stands for low sidewalls. That allows tires to operate on lower air pressure. LSW can outperform any track, horsepower to horsepower, with less compaction, a smoother ride, and lower fuel costs. We have hundreds of farmers who can tell you what they have found using the Goodyear Farm LSW tires and wheels. Just go to lswadvantage.com or call 1-800-USA-BEAR or see your local farm implement dealer. You'll be surprised at what you'll discover. The Grizz has got one question for all you farmers who've bought a new piece of farm equipment lately. You're probably mighty pleased with all the newfangled improvements, but did you know your 21st century piece of equipment is outfitted with tires developed as long as 50 years ago? That's why you still suffer from power hop, road lope, and high compaction. You might want to take a minute to learn about something called LSW. That's the new technology developed by Goodyear Farm Tires, made by Titan. LSW tires have lower sidewalls. Why is that important? Well, it allows tires to operate on lower air pressure. The result, no more power hop and road load, reduced compaction, and lower fuel costs to boot. Take a few minutes to learn more about LSW tires at lswadvantage.com or call 1-800-USA-BEAR or see your local farm implement dealer and get the most out of your new farm equipment.
Welcome back to Grizz Nation. Not safe for work if you're a bureaucrat. Dial 855-98-GRIZZ to talk with Morry Taylor, the Grizz.
Welcome back, everybody. And that toll-free number is 855-984-7499. Or tweet us at Morry Taylor. In fact, during the break, we got a tweet from Mike. And he said, just what a lush needs is a slush fund. The babe is probably why she was missing a while during the debate. Yeah, she could have been in there, you know. Maybe she uses the girdle to stash some of the hand cash that she gets. That's what she would do. Anyhow, back when I was talking about Detroit and all these
It's a hell of a theory.
cities and everything, why don't everybody just back up and think, okay, our schools in all the cities, there's no city that's got good schools. Look at New York. Look at Washington, D.C. You just go to Chicago. You go to them all. And there's one thing they all have. It's a simple. They have went down the tubes since they were unionized.
Okay.
Same with the universities.
Yep.
Look at our auto industry. You had one union. Only 3 of them got in trouble. Ford didn't go all the way down, but GM and Chrysler did.
Yep.
And they all took a bath.
Yep.
You know, and Obama just got to save those, because you see, the money for the Democratic Party comes from union dues. You know, it's like they pass out all the money from Social Security, not to the people who paid in. They pay it out to people who never paid in. Go look at it, folks. I know you don't want to, but that's a real fact. So when you turn around and you, this lady writes about the schools, it's bigger than that. And look at the Clintons. You know, like he said, the slush fund, it's all money, folks. It's all. And if you think it's bad, at her age, you put her in, she's getting blackouts. I don't know if it's from hitting her head or if it's from, well, more than likely, probably a little bit of the booze. Her husband's having problems too, but they don't want you to know that. They don't want you to know that. He still thinks he's president. He thinks he can, once she gets in, they can really steal more.
Okay, wait a minute. What problem is he having?
Blacking out.
Oh, he's blacking out too?
Well, he's probably taken so many pills for he can perform with that weak heart. He runs around with a pedophile. You know, he's convicted that.
I am not laughing at the pedophile.
Yeah.
I'm just laughing. He's taking all these pills
that pedophile should be in jail, but he's flying around. You read up. I told you, read the book.
Roger Stone's book.
Yep.
What's the name of it again?
The Clintons' War on Women.
Right.
That should be mandatory reading in every school. They can take it home and explain it to their Democratic parents. All right. The other thing that's unbelievable, and this is both. This is the Republicans as well as the Democrats. That's why you need an outsider. And you listen to all these talking heads.
Yeah.
Oh, they show you all this stuff that they stream up. It's not going to be Trump's voters. They won't go in the winter to a caucus out there. Yeah, they will. I got a plan. I'm going to get a bunch of them. They're going to go out there. And you know what? They're going to be vocal. And, of course, all the elites, they get all nervous, you know.
Well, hold on.
You're going to serve them beer, by gosh. Get them really going.
Let me okay, here, before you dive into this, because I've talked to some people out there in Iowa, and they're saying that Trump's organization on the ground isn't as strong as even Rubio's, let's say. Why do you think they're going to go out there and caucus? I mean, what's your feeling on it?
Because they believe in this country. They believe there's got to be change.
Okay.
And it's not a little social event.
Okay.
So they'll get in, and hell, I'd tell them to bring some duct tape and maybe some rope. And when you have everybody over on this side for Trump, then, just tell them to go over there, tie them up, plug their mouths, and bring them over, raise their hand up. That's how they take the vote.
How do you think it's looking right now?
I think it's close. I think it's, Hillary's hell. There won't be 5 of them. Well, all you have to do, folks, is look at Iowa, and you look at the count. Hillary got so many. That means every unionized employee in Iowa will be told to vote for it. And like little teeny, mice, they'll go and do what they were told.
Right there, right.
Right?
Okay.
And that's what I'm talking about. Okay? And that's the votes they get. Because in Iowa, they have the largest state employees per population of, they're number 1 in all 50 states.
Right.
They even beat Hawaii and Alaska. Now, that's the other thing this week that hit. We have a budget. They passed the budget, and Obama was so proud he signed it. You have gotten had if you got Senator Reid saying how great it is and Nancy Pelosi. You have just gotten shafted, okay? And Obama's on the top, okay? So 1.6 trillion. That's from now to end of September. It's terrible, okay? They funded, remember how majority of Americans wanted Planned Parenthood, at least the part for abortions, unfunded. It's not supposed to be funded. No, they get their money. All right? Then you can't even believe, but we're putting up NASCAR tracks, and we're doing horse races.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, NASCAR has enough money. They can build their own, but no. That they just want to make sure. And then you got, they've got all this other BS and how it's so great for all of us, But remember, it comes from you. As Warren Buffett says, he don't pay none. Oh, but I'm for Hillary, and we're all going to pay. Well, Warren, you could write the damn check and send it to the government. But you didn't do that, Warren. And he isn't going to ever pay tax, folks, because he set up a foundation, a tax-exempt foundation, so he gives all the billions to it. He gets a tax credit. He can't make enough money if he lived to be 200 years old.
I want to follow up on something. We have a phone call, but I want to follow up on something about the Cadillac tax because they delayed that implementation again.
Yeah, well, let's take who's
we have Jim, who wants to talk about refugees and who the government has been entering. Jim, you are on live with Morry Taylor on GrizzNation. Welcome.
How you doing, Jim? Where are you from?
Oh, just great. I've heard that the person that's actually in charge of screening the refugees coming into the United States works for the United Nations and is a Muslim himself and is not allowing any or very few Christian refugees to come.
That's true. It's true that I don't know if the guy doing it is a Muslim, but I do know that they're not letting Christians in. Very, very, very few. There's a few that have gotten in with some real push from some religious organizations, but the Obama people, they just want to bring in the Muslims. And if you look, they can say all they want, but all this immigration and everything else, it's all set up. And if you wanted to turn around and you wanted to clean up this immigration stuff, all you have to do is set up a national bank where you have you can go for the ID check. Anybody coming for a job, and you got to get that they've been cleared. In other words, the Social Security, everything, ID, and then you can hire them. If you don't do that, and you hire some person, and then they send it in and it's wrong, fine you. Hell, you can get fined for speeding. You sure to hell should be fined for having illegal aliens. But oh my God, you know what that would cost all those people in Hollywood that people go out and cut their grass, and the maids, and same thing in New York, and all the restaurants and everything else. Folks, wake up. It's the Fortune 500 people don't want to do it, okay? And they're also the ones that close factories and move them across. But that's basically because we let the Trump's right. Our trade policies suck, okay? And I know those babies up and down. Yeah, go ahead, Jim. Sorry.
And okay, and one other suggestion I'd have is, besides getting rid of the person at the United Nations that's not even a U.S. citizen in charge of figuring out who comes, is the ones who do come, the ones that we do allow to come in, we institute a draft on those people young enough to fight, and draft them into a special service, not into the U.S. military, but into a special service where they can go over and fight for their own country themselves.
Well, now, Jim, I'll tell you what. They, you might not have read, but we blew $500 million over there.
That's on, that's on 4 people, but now we got thousands of people we can choose from.
Yeah, we only got a few of them, and you know, they turned around, and we were so good at doing this, they turned around and went to ISA with all the equipment. I mean,
yes, I've heard that also, that a lot of people that the military have accepted were, ISIS sympathizers that was in the military just for training, so that when they go back, they would know how to use all this specialized equipment that they have gotten from the U.S.
Hey, we had these terrorists down in Gizmo, and Obama's been dead set. He's going to get rid. He's going to send them all back to somebody, and they all get back in the fighting. They all got blood on their hands. Well, why in the hell don't just sit there, put them in a boat, and send them out and tell them, okay, we're going to blow the bottom of the boat. You talk to Allah, and He's going to save you. All right? And by God, no one else would push the button. I would. So I thank you, Jim, for the call. Whereabouts are you from, Jim?
North Central Iowa.
Okay.
Near Mason City, Great Iowa.
You're in up there in a beautiful area. All right. It's getting cold though, isn't it? Snowing yet?
Oh, I'm a farmer also, so you keep making those tires, okay?
I'll keep making the tires. Thanks, big guy. Anyhow,
thank you, Jim.
Okay, bye.
Have a great night.
Merry Christmas too.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
This is not a politically correct show, so you can say Merry Christmas.
Did you see on Meet the Press?
No.
He wished everybody a Merry Christmas
and
a Happy New Year.
Well, Wolf Blitzer did that at the Republican debate. He wished everybody they made a big deal about that.
Boy, I'm glad to see that he's getting his act together.
Before we go to break, I want to ask you this question.
Sure.
The Republicans in this budget delayed the Cadillac tax again. Now, why in the hell would you delay the Cadillac tax, which you could, in an election year, would be enacted, would be put around the Democrats' neck, because they're the ones that instituted this, and the Republicans gave the president and his party a gift and said, we're not going to implement this again.
Well, if you were listening,
I was listening.
I told you about the unions.
Yeah.
The unions turn around, and it is the industrial unions and a few others that have the Cadillac plan.
Yeah.
And so under the law, what happens is 40% of those plans that they're paying them, like $15,000 to $20,000.
Yeah.
And what happens? 40% would be taxed, and it would be taxed to the employee as income. So what happened is the unions figured out real quick.
Right.
Even though we supported Obamacare.
Right.
We're for that. Yeah. But it's not going the way they really wish.
Richard Trumka went nuts about that.
They went nuts, and they went nuts because the other thing is all the government's people. You remember the federal government's in it? Well, their plans are all Cadillac plans too. So they would have got a big deduction on their paycheck. So that's why Trunkle's all upset. So,
but why did the GOP delay it again?
Why in the hell did they just approve all that money?
Well,
because what happens is I don't want to. Bunch of wimps we got. That's why. And the Democrats are bigger wimps. Democrats, American public should understand. Anybody vote for a Democrat that elected, as their speaker and majority leader, Nancy and dear old Reedy, you are really stupid. Oh, now the next one they've already nominated, it's going to be for the Democrats, is Chuck Schumer from New York.
It seemed easy to me.
Whoopee.
Seemed easy to me. You institute that and go, well, they passed it in an election, a presidential election, and they punted.
Because they're all worried. We'll shut down the government. Most Americans would like it shut down.
You passed it under a Democratic administration. What the flippin', what?
Hey, I already told you why, okay?
You ready for a second
I already
break?
told you.
You want to roll? What do you want to do?
I'm on a roll.
You're on a roll.
Okay.
All right.
We had the...
Grizz is on a roll.
We had the Bush versus Trump, Rubio versus Christie versus all of them.
Yep.
And it was pretty good. I thought they all got a chance to go in, and of course Jeb's all excited. He's got a new ringer, on Trump. But the problem is, you can tell it's so hard for him. The emotional level, I feel sorry for him. And Jeb,
you feel sorry.
The country's not ready. Your mother said the same damn thing. Okay, your mother said 2 Bushes out of the family president is enough. She's smart, okay?
You met Barbara, right?
Just sit down and kick your feet and, I wanted to be. Well, you wanted to be. And you're going to spend $100 million of other people's money.
Well, did you hear what he called Trump yesterday?
No.
Called him a jerk.
Oh, big deal. Big deal. Don't you wish you could jerk it just like he has, right? You'd be so happy, okay? The whole thing, when you look about everything, everybody had some good, and truthfully, everybody up there is sure.
No one knows your farm tire needs any better than the Van Wall John Deere Goodyear folks in Madrid, Iowa. And right now, you can upgrade your late model four-wheel drive, tractor, and combines with all the new Goodyear LSW tires made by Titan at remarkable prices and get a fair value for your trade-in. Don't keep running 40-year-old tire technology. Change over to LSWs. Reduce your risk of operating in wet conditions. Keep on going in conditions that cause others to change fields. And lower your fuel costs to boot. John Deere is now offering the LSW option on their rubber-tired four-wheel drives, so you know this is the real deal. To get a quote from one of the Van Wall tire consultants, call 515-795-3400 or go to their website at vanwall.com. Van Wall Equipment, for all your farm tire needs.
Hi, I'm Mark Andel, owner of the Made in America store. Together, we can help grow our economy and create jobs for Americans by buying products made right here in the United States. Visit MadeInAmericaStore.com, featuring thousands of 100% American-made products from all American materials and labor. They are the highest quality products available. We've inspired a Buy American movement that is creating and saving American jobs every day and keeping our money here instead of sending it overseas. So are you tired of lip service? Let our government know what really matters to the American people. Creating jobs matters. Manufacturing matters. Made in America matters. After 4 years in business and countless jobs created through our 400-plus suppliers, we've built a simple working model to strengthen our economy. It's a proving fact. Made in America matters because China is a long drive to work. Shop online at MadeInAmericaStore.com or connect with us on Facebook.
Welcome back to Grizz Nation. No Bull Talk Radio with Morry, the Grizz Taylor. Dial 855-98-GRIZZ to join in. Stand by for the Grizz.
Welcome back, everybody. That toll-free number is 855-984-7499. You can tweet us at Morry Taylor. All right.
Do it.
Now we were talking about the last part. We went through the Republican debate because we talked about that before. But the other was, of course, the Great Three Stooges, and talking about O'Malley. I guess he's just there to be the joke. It's pretty tough. It's a joke between him and Bernie Sanders and the Lion Babe, So I got a couple tweets here.
Yeah,
so
somebody's not a Trump fan there.
Somebody isn't.
A Trump fan.
Trump.
Yep.
Well, this one was sent, and they got a little baby with a big head. That's called Trump. And he got him playing with a few little play toys.
Yep.
Well,
soldiers there. Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you what. It's better that you look at it that way than the ones that are just standing there peeing on them. Okay? That's what you got. Why don't you look at the military, folks? Look at the military, and you see what Obama's done with the military. When you got ex-defense secretaries, you got ex-generals all speaking up now, and you got, how dumb can you be if you're Secretary of State and you're looking at Hillary and her emails, and he decides to have his own email private? That is just pure ignorant. Why would he do that? Didn't want anybody to know. And what's he doing? He's going to put the women in combat, all the rest of the stuff. It goes. It's just terrible.
Here, let me read a couple of these, okay?
All right.
Casey tweets, no question about it. Dems will be on board with Trump as well. It's possible he will garner 40% of Dem votes. What say you, Grizz?
I agree. You read my talking points from last week, Casey. I agree. But the thing is, the talking heads don't understand it. And the funny part about Hillary, I think there's a good part of the industrial, I'm talking industrial unions, who are going to wake up when Trump brings out some of this stuff. He'll turn around and they're going to say, he's right. And when middle America figures out what he's talking about and why everything's gone down, they'll figure it out too. And then when you turn around and look at, everybody wants college free. Everybody. Did you hear those Three Stooges? Yeah. They're working for the unions for the teachers. We need more money. Yeah. Well, why don't they start educating some of these kids? Because remember, they don't make brain cells. You're already smart. But they were working back. Go back to the 60s. You had GM, GE, everybody. You couldn't get a management position unless you brought a sheepskin in. Didn't matter what the hell it was. So that shows you how stupid they were.
Adam tweets at Morry Taylor, the majority of Americans support Planned Parenthood.
Oh, they do?
That's bull.
Oh, Adam, boy, you got to be a liberal. I mean, come on, Adam.
That's bull.
You women can go any place. You know, I don't care about Planned Parenthood as long as they stay out of the abortion racket with federal dollars. That's basically what I'm telling you.
Tom tweets at Ted Cruz, at Real Donald Trump. Morry Taylor would be a winning Republican political ticket. Appoint the others to get stuff done task force.
Well, you know, I think first thing, Trump's not running for VP. So, but Cruz would take it. Cruz is a smart fellow. He just doesn't have the seasoning, in my opinion. I think Trump does. And, you know, Trump understands what you got to do. You know, you can't be a politician and understand when it's all screwed up and what you got to do.
Now, JW tweets, Muslims headed into Europe isn't migration, it's an invasion. Yeah, we covered that.
Yeah, we covered that, JW, and you're right. And it is an invasion. And if you went into the factories that we have over there and you talked to some of the workers, I didn't find one worker that was for it. But by God, the politicians are all for it. And you go into some of the big office buildings or corporate headquarters, they've never even been in some of their factories. So we really are coming to a point of where we've got to get it down and get it straight, okay?
Now let me ask you, you go into the factories and you talk to the worker. You're not just talking to the upper management and everything, you're going and talking to the workers, right?
Yeah, I go right into the factories.
And so you're not finding any of that. But people are like, oh no, bring it on.
I went into the Italian factory, and that factory makes wheels and tires, and I got so damn mad at I'll call him the ops manager, general manager, and the engineer.
Yeah.
And I was upset, and the reason I was upset is because I brought a lot of people over to the U.S. because in making wheels, we are the world's best. And so I asked him, have you been to the plant? No. So I looked at the other guy that's over Europe, and I said, get their fanny on a plane that first year, bring them over, and we want to show them, because we don't have Americans in their plants, and I don't have foreigners in ours. But what we do share in how we work it. So I looked at them, and everything is unionized in Italy. So I says, and bring the union president. And they like to choke to death, okay? And I says, well, you know, because they're not going to go explain it to the damn members, so bring him over. And I'll be honest about it, I'll have our people, I'll go with the union guy with an interpreter, and I'll explain it to him.
Yeah.
Because he works in the plant, so he knows more than the boys that sit in the office.
Yep. Okay.
That's how it always is, folks. That's how it is in the military, too. You want to know what the hell's going on? Go down and ask the sergeants and the corporals and everything. You know, generals, they're all politicians.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, no, that's true.
So, anyhow,
to get that high, you're right.
The other thing that continues to pop up is our friends in Iran. And, you know, they all had to be mocking, except Trump said, hey, you know, it was the dumbest, stupidest thing. We gave them $150 billion back to finance. They bought bigger missiles from Russia. They're out there shooting the suckers off. We've known, and the UN came back and said, my gosh, shooting those missiles was definitely violated a UN ban. Big surprise. And you remember Obama and Kerry mocked everybody about the Iran deal. This is for peace. You're just fearmongers, all that. What a bunch of friggin' wimps, okay? You know, Tehran's been doing it for decades. You know, hey, let's just face it. You know, they're after to make this country so weak, so unprotected. It's a joke. But look at this way. Good point. All we got is approximately 12 months. And then he becomes the United Nations king.
You think
he can? I don't know if Michelle's going to like over
you
there.
think he's going to let that?
Too much sand over there.
You think the UN they're going to do that? They're going to take him in?
Oh, what the hell else is he going to do?
Well, I'd see.
Well, he can go to Chicago, build his
library,
and then play like Carter.
Well, you know, he's in Hawaii right now.
Yeah, he always goes to Hawaii. He always goes early. Can you remember one Christmas address he ever did to the nation? Can you remember one? No. Why? I mean, next thing we know, we'll all be getting free tickets from the government to go to Mecca.
No, that's not something I want to do. Morry, we're at the top of the hour. We're at the top of the hour, so we're done with.
We're going to let WHO sell you something.
That's right.
Or if Hillary's out there and all those politicians, you know, gives them time for one more drink before they hit the road.
Top of the news at WHO here in the GrizzNation Radio Network. Once again, you can reach out to us here for Hour 2 at 855-984-7499. That's 855-984-7499. Or tweet us at Morry Taylor. We'll be back after top of the hour news. You are listening to Grizz Nation with Morry Taylor here on the GrizzNation Radio Network.
For 40 years, this factory boomed. Steel wheels were crafted, the best in the world. Skilled men and women worked an honest day for an honorable wage. Then, things began to change. As layers of management grew, the company became weak and bureaucratic. Our own government passed laws making it more economical to send good jobs overseas. With taxes skyrocketing, capital was non-existent, so equipment became old and outdated. The workers' pride in their product disappeared, and like many companies in America, when its problems could seemingly not be solved, it finally closed its doors. Not long after, a man who felt he knew the answers risked all he had and reopened that old plant, brushed aside former executives, rehired the real workforce, and began to rebuild from the ashes. Today, Titan Wheel owns 20 plants and is in the top 0.5% of all New York Stock Exchange companies in sales and earnings growth. Morry Taylor, that man with the vision and the take-no-prisoner style, had pulled himself up from small-town welder to industrial giant. And the Grizz, as they named him on Wall Street, is now the only candidate for President of the United States with the extraordinary toughness and business experience to finally turn around the problems of our country.
If it hadn't been for him, this place wouldn't be running today. If he can run this country the way he runs this plant, he's the man we need for president.
When I found this company, it was a beat-up old factory. Management had run it into the ground. Not unlike our country. I didn't have a fancy business education, but I knew enough to take care of the people making our products. That's all it took here, and really that's all it'll take in America. Business experience, common sense, not politics. Everyone asks, how do you think you can win? Well, if Clinton can win,
when will we learn that politicians are absolutely the worst people to manage our government? They're too busy talking to listen, and they have no experience whatsoever in managing a business. And how hard is it for them to understand that our government, with income and expenses and personnel, is the largest business on earth? Our government should really be managed to an even higher standard than business, because our officials are managing other people's money.
A lot of folks I meet think the problems in our country are so bad we can't solve them. That's not true. We just keep sending the wrong people to solve them. Would you hire a politician to run your farm or your company? I'm not a politician and I'm not a lawyer. I'm in business. Focus on a problem, determine a solution, demand immediate change, then move on to the next problem. That's what I do every day, and that's what we need to do for America. It's not as hard as they've been telling us all these years. Our deficit and debt are enormous. All we need to do is start day one to cut 1/3 of the federal bureaucrats from the top and middle layers of government. And in 18 months, we'll have a balanced budget. Do you really think we'll miss them? Solving the job problem is another straightforward. Look out for Americans first. Get rid of the ridiculous laws that make it cheaper for American companies to build their products overseas. And get tough. Morry Taylor tough with our trading partners like Japan and China. It's one thing to say we should all play by the same rules. I'll make sure they do.
Agree with that 100%. Morry gets involved, that's the main thing. Yeah, he won't let you hang it out on a limb or nothing like that. I mean, if you got something to say, he'll listen to you.
Taxes. Don't you think any of us could have invented a better system? Morry Taylor's solution is that everyone pays something. 2% on the first $20,000 of income. I don't care if they're on welfare. Then 10% of income over $20,000. And the most anyone pays is 17% on income over $35,000. That's it. Fair for everyone. Because no one gets a free ride. Everybody pays. And finally, let's look at how politicians keep getting elected. By taking huge contributions from political action committees and special interest groups. How could we expect politicians to make sensible laws? They owe too many people too many favors. While every other candidate for president is deadly silent on campaign finance reform, PACs will be on the way out my first day in office. Tell me one thing more important than our families. Mine's my wife, Michelle, son, Tony, daughters, Katie and Maureen, and my son-in-law, Mike, and my brand new granddaughter, Megan.
And they realized that their father has always loved them so much and was always there. If it was just a phone call, he was always there.
I was in Little League at the time, and every time we had a baseball game or we got to the World Series, he was always there. I guess the first thing that comes to my mind, it pretty much sums up the dedication he had of, balancing work and family all together.
I grew up thinking our government was here to help us. Yet the future for my family and yours seems to be having to worry about a bloated bureaucracy and a ridiculous tax systems. Our families deserve better. Every presidential candidate will tell you they support a business-like approach to government. They'll tell you they want to cut waste, lower the deficit. But how many can back those words with a simple statement that shows it's true?
Morry Taylor has special appeal to those who voted for Ross Perot. Perot supporters belong inside the Republican Party, where winning is a realistic possibility. Morry Taylor is the best way to keep them there. America can again have a choice between good jobs. We can slash our deficit. We can cut 1/3 of the federal bureaucrats and...
listening to Grizz Nation with Morry the Grizz Taylor. Dial 855-98-GRIZZ to join in on Common Sense Talk Radio, coming right at you in 3, 2, and 1.
Welcome back to Grizz Nations, everybody. You can see I've had a few collections here, but if you want to call us, you can call toll-free 855-984-7499 or tweet us at Morry Taylor. There's one right next to me, my grandson here. He's 6. This is Jack. Over here is my little granddaughter, the youngest of them. She's 4. That's Taylor. And then I got another one right here, Jack's sister. Look at the camera, babe. Jack's sister, Bella. Now, you guys going to wish everybody Merry Christmas? Yeah. Go ahead. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. All right. Thank you, guys. Bye. So, shut the door.
Nope.
Sorry about that, folks, but they've been out there watching, and they just drive their parents nuts. All right, prior to the break, we were talking about our friends that are out there and what's going on. And since that time, we've got a couple tweets. And this one from Casey tweets, "The American Revival, the period after he is elected next November to his inauguration day, when America's in the danger zone. Don't forget touchdown sign."
No.
That was another one. That was from our boy in Texas. You know, we came up with a touchdown sign, folks. Do you know why? Because the Dallas Cowboys this year have sucked, okay? So the poor guy came up with touchdown. So Tom sits over here.
No.
They didn't put a break in it. I just read the thing to you like it is. Got to have a little bit of strangeness, you know. Getting towards the end of that for now.
Okay, can't see the get rid of that now. Okay.
Well, if you haven't heard, and I think this is funny, Warren Buffett out in Omaha, the big man, he's 80-some years old, and he's got more money than he needs, but he's still competitive, so he's backing the Babe. Now, why do you think he would back the Babe?
He's really backing the Babe?
He's backing the Babe.
That doesn't make sense.
For all of you out there, you want to know when they talk about crony capitalism? Because you see, it makes sense for the Keystone Pipeline, but there's one firm it doesn't make any sense, and that's the guy that owns all the choo-choo trains that run back and forth. And what do you think that would do to the earnings of Buffett's choo-choo train company? Okay? Yeah, he owns the trains. So, you know, by him, he can put lots of money behind the Babe. He really doesn't give a damn.
No.
About, you know, he's smart enough to know those 40 years, hell, I'll make it all back many times over.
Right.
So, he's supporting, you know, a woman that wants to take away her fortune, but she can't get his fortune because he already did it. And so, you know, that don't happen, okay? He knows that. But Hillary's going to, Warren doesn't have to worry about other guys catching him and Gates because they already got theirs into the, they've already given it to all their foundations. So you can't tax them. They're nonprofit. They don't have to pay tax. So what happens is, you know, it's all the future. And it's really a bunch of BS because the money comes from the middle class.
Right.
And she needs all of it. And the Babe will take it for her own self. Trust me, okay? You know, are there billionaires? Oh, yeah. We got more billionaires under Clinton and under Obama. Well, I take that back. Got a few of them under whatchamacallit, too. And they made the money cutting money, okay, to taking a percentage.
What?
You can't put it in the bank now and get any money.
Wait, say that again. They made their money cutting money?
Yeah, they take a chunk out of every dollar it goes through. They get a couple cents off it. Okay.
Okay.
That's what I call cutting the money. So, but anyhow, they've been crying for 2 decades. Okay, tax the rich and all will be fixed. That's Bernie's too. You know,
Right.
That's a Democratic. You know, that's like watching a magician. You know, keep popping coins out of your ears. You know, pay them to stand there and keep doing it. Eventually, they don't come out because you can't get them anymore. You won't see your pail get very full. So, you know, who cares? He's only got 1 vote. But if you look about it, it's pretty obvious, you know, what he's worried about. You know, and they paid off for him. They've killed it. And whoever becomes, well, if Trump becomes president, Trump will rescind everything and he'll build it. No ands, ifs about it. Now let's talk about our Grizz growls. Things that tick me off.
Well,
Okay?
real quick, let's remind everybody, if you want to reach out and talk to us, Jim did earlier, or tweet us, you can call us at 855-984-7499 or tweet us at Morry Taylor. And now into the Grizz growls.
Did everyone see the deal where the football coach has been suspended? This is a high school coach, I believe.
Yeah.
And he had a prayer. If you didn't want a prayer, you didn't have to pray.
Right.
But the ones that did, he was suspended. Thank goodness he's filed a discrimination complaint. But, you know, why is it that all the politicians, especially, you know, the last couple decades, they want to go after anybody that's got faith that's a Christian? They sure the hell don't care if you're a Muslim.
Right.
They don't care if you're a Hindu. They don't care what in the hell you are, you know? And by the way, for everybody understands, the federal government can have no say in religion. That's in our Constitution. But when the Constitution was written, and I've stated this a lot of times, out of the 13 colonies, 12 of them had their own state religion. Under the Constitution, the state can have a state religion. So much for all you people who think you read the Constitution, you know. It's like everybody sitting on the talking heads, you know. It's against the Constitution what Trump wants to do by not letting Muslims come over. That's a religion against the religion. First thing, the guy that, or woman, whoever opens their mouth, they're really ignorant, okay? I guess the producer wrote it on the screen for them. You see, if you're not an American, the Constitution does not apply to you, especially if you're not here. And that's all he talked about. He wasn't going to let any come in. And he had a good point. So, for all those talking heads, and that's what they are. You ever notice? Liberals, they just keep running their mouths.
Yep.
All right? And then when bullets fly, they run too. You know? It's crazy how they do it. And, of course, I will say this year, I've seen there are still a bunch of people who have, you know, happy holidays, can't say Merry Christmas. Well, if it's a department store or something like that, don't buy from them, okay? Don't go buy from them. Send them a message, all right? But it's time we do remember a little bit of our history. Why don't you go over to Saudi Arabia and try to open up some churches, okay? Won't work.
Well, you know that's not going to happen.
You know.
Why you bring that up?
Well,
we can't do that to the sods.
I understand.
That's mean.
You know, speaking of educational lunacy, you know, Ivy League schools, they've really gotten pretty wacko. You know, they're going around. Did you see that Did you see that video? Getting them to sign a petition to do away with the First Amendment.
Yeah.
You know, that's so stupid. You go on, you go watch at Yale. They're passing it, and you watch these kids signing it. and think of what the parents or somebody's paying. Oh, that's that free education. That's right. That's the Sanders group. You know, if they don't like our Constitution, they don't like the way it was, why the hell they come here? You know, you ever see everybody else trying to get in some other country? They all want to get here.
It's true.
You know, and the professors.
Whether legally
I think
or
we'd be
illegally.
better off. You took all the universities and you went right down to what you can use going forward in the science, in the medical, etc. And all the rest of it, you go out and do it on the internet and learn it yourself. All the liberal arts, all the other BS, that's all changed all over. You don't need to be sitting in there, you know. Wait till they get out and they got to earn some money. And then they'll find out you don't want to be a Democrat.
Nope.
So.
Not really.
Now, Navy SEALs are incredible. And when you see all they've been done and everything else. Last week, they made the dreams come true. A 14-year-old leukemia patient who always wanted to be a SEAL.
Yep.
And they made him an honorary SEAL to his surprise and delight. This is what makes this country great, okay? And it's things like this that and guys like this, and I'm not being sexist, because at this moment, the only SEALs are men, okay?
Right.
And thank you. They're probably great men because of their mothers. Now I put it for it got both sexes covered. But they did this, and there's great service women, servicemen. It just makes you proud to be an American.
That's a good point.
It only makes you
That's a good point, Grizz.
feel unproud when you listen to the TV and the talking heads. That's for 24-hour talking heads, and they have no clue what they're talking about, okay?
Right.
And it is a shame. So to them, Merry Christmas. You know, they've already had Hanukkah. So, and a Happy New Year and good health and safety. It's too bad you got the group in Congress and in the White House. They like to say they appreciate, they don't.
Don't you know that that was the only bill they could pass? Paul Ryan said so.
Yeah, well, I would prefer that they didn't pass anything.
Well,
what is that down the government?
You ever seen people get vapors so quick if you hear the word shutting down in the same sentence?
Oh,
yeah, they get
Jesus
vapors quick, yeah.
But, hey, here's something. You know, the liberal crap that's on the Comedy Channel and the CBS put on for the late night crowd, even though the guy that was on there was liberal as hell, Letterman, but Colbert's on there.
Yeah.
And, his late night was always on Comedy Central, beating up on conservatives. It's kind of funny. It goes on CBS, and, his ratings tank, folks. They just totally tank. His ratings are in the toilet. They don't know what to do, how to do it. And
it wasn't
you have to say the executives over there are really stupid. They better come, but they're way high up in the tower in the big CBS building.
Letterman never did well. Okay, Letterman always lost to Leno, and Leno was like Carson. He hit everybody equally. Okay, Letterman never won a head-to-head. He might have the last couple months, but this is just an idiotic move on CBS's part.
Well, it's just too bad.
Yeah.
But they got the Super Bowl. What we do?
Yeah, big deal there.
The thing is, all those talking heads, I laugh because when you ever look at, do they read the how many people watched the Democratic debate last night? Did they come out with the numbers? No, not yet. So they're going to turn around and wait.
We got a call that we could take before break if you want to do that, Grizz.
Go ahead.
All right, Jesse from Iowa wants to talk about public-private partnerships with the government. Jesse, you are live on Grizz Nation with Morry Taylor. How are you?
How you doing, Jesse?
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'm a Desert Storm veteran with a MBA, and always seems to be these promotions of public-private partnerships within state government and federal government. I'm seeing these as just being a way to spend tax money to actually collect data. Has anything ever actually manifested a situation that more people I ever know to actually create jobs in private industry? Of course, you probably know that yourself, but where did you keep coming up with these little gimmicks that seem to sound good during election time but never pay off?
Well, I think what happens is you hit the nail on the head. I haven't talked much about it because, number one, it's too hard to explain. So I'm going to hit two points of it. Number one, this government and private or public, what they wish to talk about in states and everything, this is the billions and billions of dollars that go to universities, and you go and they come up with it. But if you really look at it close, we'll take drugs. The first thing that they got to do is whatever, if it comes up in one of these universities or something, with some government money, the first thing you got to do is you got to get it out into a drug company, because how else is a professor? Because he doesn't own the patent or anything else. It goes to the university, and the university's getting money from the government. So that's what they're talking about, and you're 100% right. The money from the taxpayer, they get nothing. Okay, so that's one. The other is the one that everybody uses. But you remember one guy tried to take all of the credit for developing it. His name was Al Gore. And of course, Al Gore and the internet, that's what happens when you live and you're raised in Washington, D.C. You end up with a warped mind, okay? But since you were in the service, you know the military came up with the internet, okay? And so they branched that off to be free, and not only to us, but basically to the world, okay? So when you look at Apple, you look at Google, you look at Yahoo, you look at all of them, you take Cisco, you take them all. And if it wasn't for that, you would not have the internet, okay? Russians didn't do it, neither did anybody else, the U.S. So, you know, there's that. They're funding. I was up at our company on certain things have given money. There's a lot of, I know Caterpillar and Deere, because I'm in the farm side. Actually, at my university I go to, plus they give to Iowa State. They give to a lot of universities. They work in conjunction on projects, okay? Coming up with certain things. I was a little curious when I ran into cement, and they were trying to, the university in the university with the state of Michigan, the federal government are trying to develop a concrete for roads so that it can go through the temperature changes and not crack. And it was interesting what they were trying to do. So there are some, but like all the consultants, you know, when you look at something and you're in the military, you know, nothing gets done until it gets down to basically the sergeant level. Okay, so that's really what makes things run. And you know, Navy side be the corpsman there. So I just, but you got to have some of it. It's what funds a lot of stuff on universities. I don't know if the good stuff comes out of it or if it's not. But there's no question the guys that really make the money are the consultants in between. They're the biggest cost.
It sounds like a Hoover prime the pump type thing.
Yeah,
I think I think you got that pretty good. And you the only time it ever worked was in the Great Depression. You look at all the hydro dams that were built. You looked at Tennessee Valley Authority. That's when that was built. But the one thing that was unique back then, they took and they built stuff. They made things great for this nation and generations after them. But when things started to turn around, they closed it down.
Yep.
They went back to the private. And when you have World War II, the things worked good, and then when they closed it down. In fact, there was a big thing about when Trump brought out about Eisenhower. Of course, it was with Truman, I believe, was president. After the war, they deported a lot of Mexicans. Everybody forgets the Mexicans back in World War II did not participate in World War II, okay? So a lot of them came into the U.S. to take jobs. But when you start bringing back 4 million people from a war, soldiers, you sure to hell would not have, if they came back today, 4 million, and you let their jobs be with ones from Mexico who never fought, trust me, they'd turn those guns on those politicians and eliminate them in a big hurry. So that's what happened back there. But you listen to all the talking heads today, and oh, how terrible and everything. But they did. They took millions back, okay? And they had the great boom. So thank you for the comment, and thank you very much for your service, and a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to you and your family.
Merry Christmas to you, Jesse. Thank you for calling.
Thank you, Jess.
Let's take one more call before a break. We've got Herb from Iowa who's been holding on. Grizz. He wants to talk about how we can't get our representatives to talk to constituents. Herb, you are on GrizzNation with Morry Taylor.
Good evening. Thank you very much. I feel like I just received a Christmas gift. You're taking my call. I appreciate that.
Well, thank you.
I just would like to share. I'm a full-time college student, and I own a small little business, a carpet cleaning business. I probably make, who knows. I'm doing fine. I guess I got irritated after the San Bernardino shooting, and I took, it took about 2 hours to do it all. I called up to Washington, D.C., and I called every congressman, every senator's office, and I talked to Schmuck Joe, whoever he was, and, I told him, I said, if we go over, since we went over and killed Saddam Hussein for doing the exact same thing that ISIL was doing, or ISIS was doing, why are we not declaring war on Islamic terrorists, radical Islamic terrorists? We got such spineless cowards in Washington, D.C., they can't even call it what it is. They have to be politically correct, and of course, they got a little irritated with me, and I said, I'm a taxpayer. I'm just like to show you. I pay my taxes. I pay a lot of taxes. And, we'll take down the information, and we'll have them research this, and we'll get back with you. I said, I've been lied to for so long. I am so tired of hearing that. You're not going to take that any further than what your pencil does when I understand it with you. I'm so tired of the same old thing. That's why Donald Trump's going to get my vote this year, because I'm tired of you spineless cowards doing nothing in Washington.
I'm going to tell you what you're doing. Hell, they're going out. You're 100% right. But you know what's going to take it back? What's going to take it back is guys like you and women that think, all right, and want to look out for the future, not just for yourself, but for your kids in the future, if you don't have any, or grandkids in future. Because it's going to take somebody like Trump who isn't going to put up with the bullshit. Now, he's smart enough.
Right.
He's smart enough to go, but here's what you got to do. And everybody that is a Trump supporter's got to do it. You have got to go, whether you're getting 40-mile-an-hour winds and it's snowing like hell, you got to get to a caucus. And when you get to that caucus, you got to just don't be intimidated. Always remember in Iowa, most of those caucuses are sitting there, and they turn around and say, you know, you don't understand. Yes, you do. You understand it very well, and explain it just the same way to them, and ask them, when was the last time you had an opportunity to vote for someone who wasn't a politician? Everybody's going to complain. This is a chance. This is a chance. And he's put his own money up. And, here, since I ran 20 years ago, let me tell you something. I knew, and I did a lot of research before I did it. I thought it would only cost me X bucks, but it cost me basically like 6 times as much. And I knew I'd only run in Iowa and New Hampshire, but I wanted to give a voice. Now, what happens is you get into it, and the fixes was then in. But today, with the internet and everything else, you can bypass the media, and you can bypass the old boy, old girl network at the clubs, which is the parties, okay? And that's what Trump's doing. Right. Now, all the consultants like you talk about are mentioned, and all the people in Washington, they all think we're all a bunch of stooges. And the only time Iowa gets a look is every 4 years. You don't have enough population. Yeah. But that 4 years, man, it means something. And truthfully, I've been all over the country. Iowans do take every 4 years. It's pretty serious. So get more. Yeah. Find out where there's some more Trump people. Get their names and drag them to a caucus. And trust me, he'll pull it off. But just having big parties don't do it. Go ahead.
Jimmy Carter, he was a peanut farmer from Georgia, correct?
Correct.
That's right.
But do you know what happened? Jimmy Carter came out a long time. Yeah. He helped Iowa get on the map, okay? And he did it. He had some pretty smart Southern boys with him. And he caught them with their pants down, okay? But let me tell you something about President Carter. This you didn't know. Here's the facts. His dad had a peanut warehouse, all right? So it's almost like you guys would call it grain bins out there where you are, okay? A little co-op. But you see, Jimmy was real smart and everything, but if Jimmy ran that damn thing, they would lose their ass. But Billy was good. So the old man decided with the mother that the best place was Jimmy was in politics. And he went to the governor. Too bad his old man wasn't around when he became president. But he had no clue how to run nothing. He just wanted to sit and talk with everybody. You see? You got to do something, all right? And he couldn't make a decision on our hostages, okay? And so other people know when you don't want to do nothing and you get weak, and they already look at Obama, and they already know people running Obama is Valerie Jarrett and a bunch of people behind the closet. We should have practiced sending them off and letting on their desert and calling them up half hour before they're due to hit and just challenge them. Why don't you try to shoot this down? Now, this next intercontinental ballistic, we're going to show you what a multi-head entry is, okay? Now, hopefully you ain't got nobody driving around out there. If you do, it's just our sorry. We're about it. But we've been using this money to show you what real seriousness is. And if people think back, you got to remember, the whole Middle East was drawn up between the French and the friggin' Brits after the war, and that's when we gave them all this land and everything. But they were tribes. They were tribes. It's no different if you took the Sioux Indians and you moved them down to the Florida Everglades and told them, okay, now you're changing with the Seminoles. It don't work, folks. And so, I can go on and on and on and on. And when they talk about, I love it. People, this is talking heads. Oh, Hillary. Oh, she traveled so hard. I've traveled. Give me a break, folks. That woman was running around, hustling speeches for her husband, and turning around, getting money donated to him for they could get it cut. And then she would have the U.S. government do something. Folks, that's against the law, but nobody says scrap about it, and she's whipped off $1 billion in 4 years, and we got everybody running around. Oh, she's so good. Look at her, she's so good. Yeah, she has a few belts and falls over, hits her damn head. Pardon, go ahead.
Brother, I'm gonna let you go, but before I do, I would like to challenge any of the GOP candidates to please ask Hillary Clinton if we can see the movie that caused the Benghazi incident, the Benghazi incident. I just want to see the movie.
You can't see the movie because you see it was so bad. They vile that she had the Secret Service destroy them all.
They should. Yep, that's right.
Remember, she told them they had the guy in jail.
Yep.
I mean, she was lying so much. That woman is a pathological liar. And, you talk about poison, a snake wouldn't bite her.
I'm going to let you go.
All right, thank you for your call. Merry Christmas.
God bless you.
Hey, work hard, man. Work hard.
The United States of America. God bless the United States of America.
Thank you, Harry.
Guys. Thank you.
Harry. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
Grizz, we are going to take a long overdue break here.
All right.
Okay, because I think after that rant you just went on, you need to catch some air. You need some oxygen. That's what I think. That's what I'm going to say.
I don't need no oxygen.
I'm telling you right there.
See, now, I can tell you, like, Jebby needed it. Hillary needs it. I would just love to debate them all.
Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
We would do it like Savage Nation, when he gets on there and he's not politically correct in some language and, what do you say, mind nudity or something?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
But he's smart. He's right. He knows it, just like Rush. You can say, I listen to my CDs, but I'm listening to 60s, 70s, and 80s on it.
What do you know?
Yeah, so that's tough. But anyhow.
Well, let's take a break, Grizz. You can once again reach out to us at 855-984-7499, just like those two gentlemen did. Or tweet us at Morry Taylor. You are listening to Grizz Nation right here on the Grizz Nation Radio Network.
This is for all you farmers out there in Grizz Nation who thought you could get better performance by dumping your tractor tires in favor of tracks. It might have seemed like a good idea at the time, but that was before you knew about a new technology in farm tires called LSW, developed by Goodyear Farm Tires, made by Titan. LSW stands for low sidewalls. That allows tires to operate on lower air pressure. LSW can outperform any track, horsepower to horsepower, with less compaction, a smoother ride, and lower fuel costs. We have hundreds of farmers who can tell you what they have found using the Goodyear Farm LSW tires and wheels. Just go to lswadvantage.com or call 1-800-USA-BEAR or see your local farm implement dealer. You'll be surprised at what you'll discover. No one knows your farm tire needs any better than the Van Wall John Deere Goodyear folks in Madrid, Iowa. And right now, you can upgrade your late model four-wheel drive, tractor, and combines with all the new Goodyear LSW tires made by Titan at remarkable prices and get a fair value for your trade-in. Don't keep running 40-year-old tire technology. Change over to LSWs. Reduce your risk of operating in wet conditions. Keep on going in conditions that cause others to change fields. And lower your fuel costs to boot. John Deere is now offering the LSW option on their rubber-tired four-wheel drives, so you know this is the real deal. To get a quote from one of the Van Wall tire consultants, call 515-795-3400 or go to their website at vanwall.com. Van Wall Equipment for all your farm tire needs.
Welcome back to Grizz Nation. Think it's bad now? You ain't seen nothing yet. Just dial 855-98-GRIZZ to ask the Grizz.
And we are back. Welcome back to Grizz Nation here on the Grizz Nation Radio Network. Thomas Leduc once again along here with you. The Grizz stepped out of the studio. He'll be back momentarily. And once again, you can reach out to us at 855-984-7499. That's 855-984-7499. Or tweet us at Morry Taylor. And that's our last break for the evening. But you, Mr. Taylor, were on a roll there with those two callers.
Well,
I mean, that was like a tractor trailer. I couldn't stop that. I just got the hell out of the way and just said,
"You just let them keep going."
Yeah,
you know?
that's what I did.
Well, it's good to have people who have things on their mind, and like they say, they appreciate the opportunity to tell everybody else out there.
Yeah,
I got one more of my my little talking points, and it's got to do with the EPA, and the EPA now, like the IRS, they've been running around like madmen. Obama's got them doing everything, but they just got busted. Okay, the courts came down on their support of the U.S. water rules, and so they got busted, and they were trying to change the debate.
yeah.
So they're just like the IRS. They've been lying to the courts, lying to everybody. So they got it, their hand slapped. They'll try to go a different way to go around it. And it is a joke. And what's going on with the IRS, even though they put some things into this budget deal, the Republicans did, but they all believe they're above the law. It's really bad when you got your own government who won't follow the laws on the books, and they interpret them different, and then nobody puts their little fanny in jail.
No.
And that should be done. But anyhow, another thing what I'm talking about, and because we got next week Sunday.
Yep.
That's our last show. So, I'm in the farm business, and so I know you're not doing a lot of farming out there in Iowa at this time or in the northern part. But if you farmers get a chance, go down to your, I know Van Wall's in Iowa. I know the Sloans are in Illinois, up into Wisconsin, where you hear this radio. They're great dealers, and there's all the dealers out there are great, but and there's the case dealers that are out there too. But go to your dealers, see the new equipment, see what they're doing. You got the time now, because you've got a little while before you're going to go to a caucus or you're going to vote. So take the time to go out, see the equipment, see what's some of it has come down, and I know there's they gave the $500,000 depreciation allowance, so your farmers should look at buying some equipment. maybe even some used equipment, because if you do it right, you still get the same deduction. That was what was in the bill too. So there were a few things. It wasn't that they made it new. What they did is they extended it so it didn't fall this year to the 25,000 limit. Now you're up to 500,000. So go see them.
Is that because of the
And-
election coming up, or?
I believe so.
Okay.
And, and then also, I do know that the Van Wall and Sloan's got a whole team that work on what I've said a few times. You've listened to some of the ads on there, reference the LSW. I don't care what piece of equipment you got, the wheel tire combination will make it run better. And what we're going to do is we're going to keep you abreast of what's going on, for another week.
Yep.
And I say to all of you again to take time to find out. This country needs some help. You've had 8 years going into 8, 7 for sure.
That's right. Yep.
And if you count a few from a couple of years, so it's over 8, even in the Bush administration. There's a lot that can be done. And I'm telling you right now, when you look overseas into Europe, Middle East, things are bad and they're going to get worse. They're not going to get better. And
you were just, like we said at in the first hour, you were just over in Europe.
Just there. And,
Yep.
and when you go in, this diversity that they say, it really is, they don't assimilate into where they went. And you would think they would want to do that because that's why they went there. But you can't go and have them go back to what you came from. It's nuts. It is just totally friggin' nuts. And and then I love it when you have someone like the babe running, Hillary. I mean, what the money she took from the various Arab countries that treat women like dirt. I got 2 daughters. I got 3 granddaughters. Plus, I'm married to an Irish wife, okay? Better part of the family, okay? But you learn real quick, You're not going to suppress that, okay? So it is a bad situation. And how they can, stand up and say they're for all these women's rights. And, the only thing they want is money, okay? You stop and think about it. Look and see what the Clintons have ever done in foundations or donations.
Yep.
You can't have all these countries and get hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars, tax-free, by the way, folks. But those came into them, the Clinton Foundation, because they had Uncle Sam's piggy bank control of your money, and they gave it to them, who gave part of it back. I hate to say this, but even some unions run better than that. And they only run at 20 to 80%. And they've never been audited. It is a real shame, okay? And we got to all get together, And as I said to our last caller, you're going to have to get at that caucus, and there'll be people there that will try to push you around. Hold your ground. Know what you're talking about and bring it up. That's one great thing about being in Iowa. And the others are just going in and pushing the button. But it's going to be interesting. And just think about it. The Democrats are going to try to elect Hillary, even though I think there's stuff to come out. And, the FBI is going to put a bill out on her. But Obama's Attorney General, Loretta Lynch, she's not going to do it.
She's not going to do it.
But
Yeah.
that'll be enough. And I think she's going to back away. I still think Biden's going to be the nominee. But
Boy, you are sticking to that, aren't you?
Oh yeah.
You are sticking to
Hillary is so guilty. She's more guilty than probably anybody that's ever been around that side of the laws that are on there. And I think that I still think that Obama wants Biden, and I think the unions are going to put some pressure. So I think that's what's going to happen.
Okay.
And then then I think Trump, and of course there is a lot of money. You see all these ads in Iowa. We see them here in Michigan. When you got $100 and some million from PAC money, and they're beating up everybody, but mainly they're trying to beat up Trump. So that's for Jeb Bush. And I don't think they're going to be able to do it. They got the media trying to do it, everybody else trying to do it. And no one sits back and thinks. The American public say, 2 Bushes is enough. Okay, you don't need 3 in the bush.
Well, that's what Barbara said. She said, hey, we had enough.
Mother knows.
Yep.
Mothers know.
Mother knows best. Yeah.
She knows best there. Yep. And but they're going to put it all out. And of course, the Democrats are going to. No one can trash anybody better than what they do. But the good thing, if Trump takes a little bit of money, and he's going to have to take a little bit of money.
Why?
Because it costs money to advertise.
Okay.
And when you go up against the Democratic machine, you're
talking if he gets the nomination.
Yeah, I think he'll get the nomination.
Okay, because he has spent next to nothing.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's just getting all this free publicity right now.
And that should tell you right away that he should be your man, because he knows how to do it. And if you want someone to lead it, we sure the hell can't send politicians. They'll just blow your money faster than you've ever seen it, and you get nothing. All right? And Trump's been the only one that said he's going to save and make Social Security what it should be before you get your money. Now, he said that.
Yeah.
And I believe him.
Yeah.
The other guys, they can say what the hell they want. They don't know what the hell to do. There ain't been a Democrat running in the last 30 years knows how to run something. And they stick together. They don't care if the stinky apple's in the barrel. They just kind of like close their eyes. So I think that's what's going on. So that's my end. And we're coming up. How much longer do we got?
We got a couple minutes.
We got a couple minutes.
We got a couple minutes left here.
We appreciate the callers tonight that called in. I thought
and the tweets.
Great. And our tweets. Even though I read one tweet that was a retweet back to us.
Did you actually, when you were waving, I mean, your hand, you were just on a roll. Yeah. I mean, we blew right past that first break. I didn't even want to try to stop you. Okay? Yeah. I did not want to try to stop you. You don't want to stop a Grizz while it's on a roll. That's just not a good thing.
Yeah, it is very dangerous.
Yeah.
You don't know what the hell's coming next. So I agree with that. And I got, you've seen 3 of my grandkids. Actually, I got 4 here.
Okay.
But the 13-year-old oldest daughter of my sons,
yeah,
she's already over with some friends. So she's not going to come back till later.
Nope.
The other 3 have been at the airport in Raleigh since 4 o'clock this afternoon.
Okay.
For an hour and 20-minute flight here.
Yeah, flights sometimes get delayed.
Delta on the East Coast is running a little bit late.
Yep.
So they will get here. And it's too bad because I don't think our camera, we would have the one boy stand back there because he's already 6'4".
Well, you
got the drive.
You got Christmas up on Friday? What do you got up this week, Grizz?
I leave tomorrow for Quincy. I'll be in Quincy tomorrow, and Tuesday I might have to go to a couple of the plants.
Okay.
Then plan to spend Christmas. New Year's, I'm going to probably go down to Naples I'm with my wife and the dog, and she'll stay there. Then I'll catch Quincy the following week, and then I'll shoot up to the beloved oil sands.
Oh, there you go.
And it's
In
very,
Canada?
very, very cold.
In Canada?
And in Canada.
Yep, in Canada. Yep.
They keep saying, hey, you know?
Yeah.
I guess that's because they never got used to getting off the boat when they came across. But anyhow, we're going to go up there.
Okay.
And then from there, I will probably go. No, I got to go back down to. In January, there's a big show, I believe, January or February, in Phoenix.
Okay.
Which is a bunch of dairymen.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And they have a big deal, so I got to go down there for that. And we've got, it's time just to keep moving.
Yep.
And that's what you have to do in this market.
That's what you have to do.
And
so
that's what we're going to do.
So everybody have a great Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to everybody. A Happy New Year. Stay healthy and enjoy the moment. Take a moment. Be thankful for what you have or you don't have. Okay.
That's true.
Health is the most important thing. And all you youngsters, which I doubt if you're watching me, that's a waste of time. But enjoy yourself and be cautious, okay?
There you are. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. Once again, thanks to all the callers and those who tweeted. We will be back on for one more show next week, Sunday, 6 to 8 p.m. Central and 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern, right here on Grizz Nation on WHO. Everybody have a great Christmas. Grizz, you have a great Christmas.
Same to you, Thomas.
Thank you, sir. And we will be back next week on Grizz Nation with Morry Taylor. Everybody have a great week.